Hey there, disc golfers. I think it's a good time for another surprise in the bag. This time, let's give Ben Callaway a call. Ben, talk to us a little bit about. I see two bags there, actually.
Yes, you do.
So every tournament I've caddied for you. I'd never carried two bags.
No, no, of course not. I would never do that to my caddy, ever. No, I just have both bags out because I wanted to do a comparison between the two.
Okay.
They're the exact same grip bag, but obviously one's a different color than the other. The one that you see over here that's dark blue is the 2018 model with the dark black Discraft and then the Buzzz logo on the bottom with the honeycomb background. But this year,
What I have? That's the one I have.
is that the one you have? What color do you have?
I have the yellow one.
Solid. But this year, Discraft's doing the exact same bag, but it's going to be a more bold Discraft logo in the front, and it's I believe they call them grip dots for the background of it, and it's a little bit more of a sleek look, which I love, to be honest. I mean, blue is my favorite color, so I couldn't resist getting the blue grip bag for the 2019 season.
Let's get into the discs then. Let's start. Let's go opposite of what I did with Haley. I start with putters with her. Let's start with drivers with you. Let's go distance drivers.
Okay. Let's see. So for distance drivers, I like to throw Nuke OS's sorry, but this isn't what is supposed to be in my bag currently. Hold on a second. One moment, hold on. Oh. Well, that's weird. It seems like my entire bag is filled with these 2019 Tour Series fundraisers Ben Callaway edition.
What do we have here, though? Show me these discs now. Now you have me intrigued.
Well, sure. I mean, from the looks of it, the ones that I've been grabbing out so far, these are all Glow Z Forces.
Ooh.
Typically, it looks like they are pink, white, and a very solid mint green with multi-foil colors. We got a nice little solid white with blue here. And then we got a nice... oh, wait a minute. I think there's something else. Hold on. Oh, well, it turns out we also have some Vultures. ESP.
Look at this stuff. These are very nice Tour Series discs. I've got a few of your other ones. Hold these up again so we can take a good look at what the design is on them.
Sure thing. Yeah, let's get this guy.
Oh yeah. So it's a picture, a silhouette here of Benny holding a disc, and that's one of their. What is that? The mint green one?
This is the ESP Vulture, actually.
Oh, okay. That is very sick. So Ben Callaway Tour Series discs. When are these going to be available?
Well, they're actually available right now on my Facebook page, which is Callaways Disc Golf page, and then they will also be available on Discraft All Day, or you can just message me on Facebook, and I can get a hold of you from there.
Okay, sweet. Hit Ben up for the Tour Series disc. Link in the description to his Facebook page so that you can get right over to there and pick that up. So let's move into the real bag then.
Oh, you want to move into the real bag? Okay, that sounds good.
Yes. That's what I want to see. The Tour Series discs are pretty sick, but I want to know what you're really throwing out there, because you're not just throwing forces and vultures. Although I'm sure with just that combination, you could still put up a really good round.
Distance drivers, what I typically throw are Nuke OS's, Forces, and Punishers. I think I have one plastic, but it's currently not in my bag. I put it away in storage. But I do have a couple of ESPs. This one is max weight ESP, and the one here is lightweight. The difference is the lightweight ESP typically has a little bit more of a straight flight for me, as opposed to the max weight, which has a little bit more harder fade. I typically throw all Z for my forces, and
Have you thrown any of the new ESP ones?
I have not gotten them yet, no. I've heard great things, and I will be getting some in my new order that I just put in. So I can't wait to test those out and bring them down to the Memorial this year, which I will be attending.
Awesome. You have, oh, so that's good. You've gotten into the Memorial. I know last we talked, you were still on the wait list, so that is happening.
I was on the wait list, and I was fortunate enough to make it in off of that, and I will be attending this year. So I am so excited, and I cannot wait. Just for the sake of getting out of the Midwest of all this cold weather, I think it is more than enough.
It's snowing again.
It's snowing here too. Yeah.
Right.
Not, so typically I throw Z forces. Much like with my OS, it favors mostly in headwinds. Or if I feel like I can get a little bit more on my forces when I'm throwing them. So typically. No force there, same one.
Okay, and then you said you had Punishers too, huh?
I have a Punisher. This is from my last year's tour series. ESP Punisher is typically what I like to throw. It has a little bit more of a flip out of the box. Has a little bit more glide, so I love that in the Punisher. I mean, to be honest, as long as it's not a ridiculous wind, I typically throw Punishers for pretty much all of my tee shots. They've almost replaced my forces.
Wow.
Which I absolutely love. It's pretty much like a beat-in force out of the box.
So I think you'll like the ESP Swirl one.
I throw an ESP Nuke. It's very flippy. It's beat. It's been in my bag for quite some time. I like to typically throw this one for flick shots. It feels very good in the hand. I don't have to really put that much on it, and it'll just go. And maybe if it's a pretty ridiculous tailwind, I'll just give this guy a good rip and watch it just fly for forever.
Okay, moving on to Fairway Drivers then. Do you got the Raptor in there yet?
Oh, you bet. Yeah. I got the Raptor in here. Speaking of which, there's my test flight Raptor. During this offseason, I've actually been working on overhands, thumbers typically, and the Raptor has probably been my most favorite disc to throw for a thumber.
It's insane.
It really is.
I don't know if you've watched my Raptor test flight video. I'll link it in the card up above. I throw overhand on it quite a few times out at Westlake, and the disc is just awesome. It's just really point and shoot.
Yeah, it really is, and I love the feel I have it in my hand when I'm throwing a thumber. Like, it doesn't feel too wide of a rim like the Nuke OS, which I can throw overhand, but it just feels like it hurts too much because I'm putting so much onto it. But with the Raptor, it feels very comfortable, and I can just whip it out of my hand, and it doesn't feel like it's going to tear my skin off or anything like that.
Forehand rollers for that disc too.
I'm sorry?
Forehand rollers. If you ever need to get out of trouble, something a little further than a zone for a little forehand roller, it's awesome.
I'll look into that. But yeah, definitely a Raptor in the bag for the 2019 season. For sure. I also have a Undertaker that I'm throwing. I typically like to throw mine in the Big Z plastic. It's pretty straight for me, not too overstable, and I like the fact that I can throw it with a little bit of hyzer, and it'll literally just go straight like a mid-range, up to like 400 feet. And the Undertaker has definitely been in my bag since day one of its release date.
So you throw Undertakers. Haley, she throws Stalkers. She had never thrown an Undertaker before, which really surprised me. Have you thrown Stalkers before?
When they first came out, I was pretty big into them. I was very curious because people were saying that they were going to fly like a longer Buzzz, and to a degree, which is true. But I couldn't find any that were stable enough for me. I felt like too touchy. There was one that shout out to Tanner Duncan, Team Discraft, back in the day. He had a big stamp stalker that flew exactly the way I wanted it. A little bit of hyzer, and it just went straight for like up to 350, 60 feet. And that was the one I wanted, but he never wanted to sell it. But I messed around with them for a little bit, but they really weren't my favorite. I with how far I could throw the Buzzz, the stalker just seemed kind of irrelevant to me.
Okay. Any other fairways? Do you have understable ones in there too?
I got a couple other ones here. I'm not exactly sure if a Mantis would be considered a fairway driver, but I like to use it for one.
I think that's a shot for it.
Yeah, I like to throw mine in the Big Z plastic. Obviously, if anybody's ever seen MJ throwing this thing, it's a very versatile disc. Pretty understable for the most part, so you don't have to really put too much on it. But I love throwing it for fairways because, like I said before, you don't have to put too much power on it, and it'll just go for days. It's a little bit further than my Undertaker, which I like. So, okay. Big Z Mantis in there as well. And then I'm not exactly sure if it's considered fairway, but I also have Austin Turner Vulture.
I would call that very high speed fairway, a little hybrid shot.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I figure. I mean, you can consider it a driver, but I think it's like a 10, 11 speed.
I think 10. 10's where it should be at.
Yeah, I mean it's about the same speed as the Mantis, but I like the more stability it has, and I enjoy the fact that I can put it almost on any angle and it'll hold that angle of which I put it on.
And you have an Austin Turner one in the ESP?
Yes, ESP Austin Turner Vulture.
Okay, cool. I like ESP ones. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, he actually gave this one to me last year during GBO. He's like, "Hey, you want a cool Vulture?" I was like, "Of course." And he handed me this one. I was like, "Sweet, in the bag."
Score. Midranges?
Yeah, we can get into some midranges here. It's nothing too extravagant. I throw Comets, Buzzes, and a Buzzz OS. That's about it. But my Buzzes are a little bit different. I have one ESP stock run Buzzz, which is this guy right here. If you watched the D-Glow coverage last year of Central Coast, I was throwing this thing all over the course. It's a little more stable, so I feel like I can put more onto it. And,
do you feel like the Z ones are a little more stable in general when you pick them up?
Typically, I mean, they do. I've had a couple runs, in the last 8 years of Discraft where some were a little bit more flippy, but generally they've been a little more stable. Quick shout out to these Buzzes right here. These are my 2010 Emac World Buzzz SS's. And these guys are gems. It's kind of funny because no one seems to know about them. But they fly through and so straight, and they go so far for a Buzzz SS.
Have you been throwing them for the Emac ones for a while, the Buzzz SS's, or?
I've had this particular Buzzz SS in my bag now 2 years.
Because was that the one you threw hole 2 at Westlake last year in the Rumble? Because I remember I was pretty surprised that you had actually threw a Buzzz SS up the middle.
What? It was this Buzzz, and
it flew really nice because there was a pretty strong right to left wind that day too, and it
absolutely
it held the line really well. I was surprised on that shot.
There's a hole at GBO at Country Club. I want to say 10. It's like a par 4. You're throwing over a valley, and then the dog legs to the right. Typically, a lot of play. The play there is just to throw it about short of the green, and then you just pitch up. Well, this is the disc that I chose to throw there, as long as it wasn't a headwind, because it flies so straight and so true, and I can get so much distance out of it that, I mean, it's probably one of the most underrated like Buzzz SS's I've ever come across. Everyone's been talking about the new stock rounds, and it's like you don't even know about these. So, just a quick tip there.
And then you said you had Buzzz OS as well?
The Buzzz OS, yes. This is probably the second Buzzz OS that went in my bag after they became stock run. I've had it in since 2016 Worlds. I've had it, not had it, but I love throwing the Buzzz OS as opposed to the drone because of the feel it has in my hand. It's a shallow rim. Backhands, little pitch forehands. It feels right. I did throw the drone for a while, And I love the drone, but I just don't see the point of having a drone and a Buzzz OS in the bag, because it just does the work that I need it to do.
Putters.
Putters, yes. I throw recently. I have picked up some TI bangers.
Okay.
This one is courtesy of Brian Earhart. We got together about a month ago or so, and he said he didn't really want this disc in his bag anymore. Gave it to me, and I've been throwing that one ever since. I also have a Michael Johansson Banger GT as well. Love it. Flies straight and true. What I putt with are my Jawbreaker Roaches. I had these specifically made for me. I didn't sell them, but they are also from my tour series last year. They,
Okay.
I love the tackiness of the Jawbreaker, and the Roach just flies so true when I'm putting from a long distance. It's really gained my trust over the last year and a half that I've been putting with them.
Thanks for coming on. Any shout outs you want to give before we end this in the bag?
Shout out to you for setting this up. I appreciate you taking the time. Absolutely, Pat. Shout out to Team Discraft, Iron Lion. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my fiance, who's going to be traveling with me to Memorial. I can't wait for that trip again. So other than that should be it.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Obviously, if you enjoy the surprise in the bags, make sure you hit that subscribe button by turning on the notification bell. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know if anything inside the bag surprised you, any discs that he was throwing. And, of course, the most important thing, Ben?
Make that putt.
Make that putt.